Steve Willits, the hardest working guy here today. This is game number three. You're hitting your own triple behind the arc today, my friend.
Got my my caffeinated beverage ready to go here. I'm waking back up and I'm ready. Championship basketball.
It is. If you missed the game early, just two spectacular games already. One, the girls in the OT, and Arlington winning that one. Those girls heading on to regionals, and then just now a tremendous game, the boys playing game. And again, great teams, great game. I'm really happy for Barry Gould and Marysville-Pilchuck finally punching it to regionals.
Yeah, 2 years ago they went 1-19, and now they're heading to regionals. Not a bad turnaround for Mr. Gould and the Tomahawks.
We're sitting in, literally, I joked last year, it's like the Super Bowl media row here. Crazy here at Jackson High School. But today, now we move on to the championship game. Again, regionals. Both these teams guaranteed regionals, but you want to win this. This year's a brand new system as far as who you're going to play. We don't know. And tip it off, it's Michaela Pivick and Kayla Watkins. And Sadie Mensing, the senior, comes up with it. Glacier Peak in the blue. They are the visitors today. Sam Fatkins, Kiana Garner, Paisley Johnson, Kayla Watkins in there starting. One-handed deep ball inside. Kayla comes up. She can't get it.
And you mentioned earlier that we don't know who we're going to play. We do know that it's going to be situated to where you have a better opportunity of playing lower seeds the higher you finish in your own district. So really there is something to play for here in this game.
All the stars are out. We got David Kruger here, Steve Willits, all the KRKO fans and broadcasters. Paisley, deep cross court inside, and there's Kayla Watkins, who had 15 in their big win at the Glacier Peak High School home court. They take the early lead 2-0.
And Kayla Watkins with two good looks and a great pass by Paisley.
Edwards now on the other side. They go deep. Cooper can't get it. Underneath, sweet look.
Give credit to both Watkins for blocking that first shot and Cooper for staying with it. Second try is a charm, just as it was for Watkins on the other end.
7:03 left in this first quarter here. Tied up at 2. Samantha Fatkin. Again, you got kind of the super softs out there with Johnson, Fatkin. Garner, the senior, for 3. Boom!
As if on cue, you talk about the super softs, and one of the only two seniors on the team making her presence felt with a big three-pointer.
The other side, Jordan Edwards. Talk about a three-ball specialist. That one's off. Kind of a loose ball on the ground. We'll see who comes up. It's going to be Lynwood ball. Jordan Edwards, she just addicted to that three ball, and one of the issues as far as their only loss was she had a rough night shooting from 3.
Yeah, they had a rough night as a whole, 4 for 22 in the second half, and Glacier Peak gets a lot of credit for the way they play defense.
Cooper tries to take the left on Watkins. Watkins having nothing of it.
Kayla looks like she might have come to play today.
Edwards, the out of bounds, looking for somebody close to the 5-second rule. Gets it in to Hayes, now back out to Edwards. Paisley giving her all kinds of room, Steve, as she should.
Yeah, and this is where Glacier Peak was able to contain Lynwood in their second matchup, the one that Glacier Peak won. Lynwood really struggled in their half-court offense against Glacier Peak. Looks like they might be having some more trouble here.
Pivick, though, she gets loose on the other. Pulls out. Michaela Pivick. Now dribble, drive, baseline, 1-on-3. Little running floater, can't get it. Pivick with the rebound, and here comes Edwards. Up court, Cooper takes it for 3. That's short, but she gets her rebound. Inside, Pivick, nobody even there. Michaela Pivick.
Great court awareness by Cooper, knowing that if she keeps her head up long enough, at some point Pivick's going to be open. Finds her with nobody in front of her, easy basket.
And now here's Fatkin to Garner inside. Transition basketball, both teams playing well.
Yeah, you gotta like the pace early on here. 7-4 with 5:22 to go, and both teams have come to play. It's the championship game, you better come to play, right?
Danny Hayes, 33 out top. Now here's Edwards. And Pivick takes Sadie Mensing to the rack, and she converts. You don't want to get her on fire if you're a Glacier Peak fan, that's for sure.
Yeah, a reverse layup at that. Pivic is just so good with her body control and doesn't miss too many shots around the basket there.
Paisley gets it over to Fatkin, Sam Fatkin. Now to Kayla Watkins from outside. She hit already from inside. She can hit the 3 ball. Fast break now, Edwards the other way. They slow it down. And Edwards tries to go around a tough pick for Monty Cooper on Fatkin.
Boy, that was an interesting play. I don't know that Paisley Johnson wasn't pushed into her lane as she got picked. I didn't see who it was that picked her, but Paisley was not intending to go in that direction. Her body was flailed in that direction. Unfortunately for her, she makes contact with Edwards and draws a foul.
Cooper there, her first foul. That was an issue in the game again that Lynwood lost at Glacier Peak just a couple weeks ago. Her first team foul, first foul of the night. Now in for Glacier Peak, Natalie Rasmussen, the junior. And then 13, Paisley Johnson from long range in there. She goes.
This is a nice lineup you have in here. You have Rasmussen and Johnson on the wings, Fatkin up on top. Any of those 3 can hit the trays. They just swing it around until one is finally open. They pull the trigger and they get 3 more often than not.
Danny Hayes with the ball out front. Paisley, tough assignment on Jordan Edwards. Shea looks for the high screen for Pivic. Now she gives it off. Walsh back out to Hayes. Takes a couple steps if they're going to get a foul before the shot.
Nice job by Hayes to drive the lane and force the issue, or try to get something going there anyway. I'm sorry, that was Walsh that was driving.
First team foul against the Grizzlies.
And Natalie Rasmussen picks up her first as team fouls, just 1 each here in the first quarter. 3:54 and a very almost packed house here at Jackson High School. That one's going to stay Lynwood on the far side. After this incredible game, we got a boys championship game.
Busy night for the Glacier Peak Grizzly folks, right? They're back-to-back games, 2 teams making the championship this year.
8th year of the school. High post. Pivic now going to take Sadie. Spins right side. That is just deadly.
There's a lot of folks out there that think she might be the best player in the state, and it's for reasons like that. Those kind of moves right there are what make Michaela Pivic so special.
It is a Michaela Pivic sweepstake if you're a D1 school, and Sadie tries to go up, but she's going to get a foul. That was kind of a, call that in lacrosse, Steve. You know lacrosse, that's a trail check right there.
Yeah, and I don't see a lot of arguing for Edwards, so perhaps she did get a piece of it, but smart move by Jordan, trying to sneak up from behind. We've seen her do that all season long. Usually she blocks it cleanly. This time she might have caught a piece of Mensing.
Mensing can't get that. First team foul there on Jordan Edwards. 2 team fouls on Lynwood. Sadie Mensing, the senior. She gets the second. 8-11. Glacier Peak on top here. 3:12 left to go in this first quarter. Jordan Edwards with the ball. Another pick by Pivic. Now errant pass, but Walsh comes up with it. Riley Walsh. Driving left-hander. Nice little scoop off the glass.
Yeah, did a nice job to get around Rasmussen and just went in with the underhand layup and got it to fall.
Paisley Johnson, she likes a 3 ball, already has one, tries to call bank, no good. Again, Pivic with a rebound. She averages just huge numbers. Coast to coast, you gotta stop her. Kayla Pivic, 8 points already here in the first.
And that might have been the most impressive 2 of the night.
Sadie, other side. Too much sauce. Here come the Royals. Pivic the other way. Now she's stuffed. Pumps, can't get it. She gets her own rebound as she does. Now she's tripped up. Everett Edwards wants a call. This is what, if you're a Glacier Peak fan, you do not want to get in this game with Lynwood.
No, and especially if you're going to let Pivic get hot early, because she never cools down. I mean, you see her go coast to coast. She grabs a rebound and just darts by everybody easily to the basket. And then that play right there, the ball gets batted loose. and she just sticks her paw out and almost one-hands it in like a receiver, like Odell Beckham Jr. making a one-handed catch as he's falling backwards in the end zone. She's an impressive athlete.
She's got body control. She's got some skills, Steve Willits. Skills.
Plenty of them.
And Lynwood now with a 1-point lead. Rasmussen from way downtown. Oh, my goodness.
There are so many different shooters on this Grizzly team, so many different players that can hurt you outside. Rasmussen getting her first three.
GP on top now by 2, 14-12, 1:51 left in the first quarter. Boston out top now, number 22 in the ball game. And there's Rogers, 14, did a good job on her. Ooh, nice job by Hayes to get it, but bounces back to Hayes. 4 on the shot clock, got to get it off. Here comes Walsh. No good, but a rebound to Boston. Inside to Rogers. Nice hook. Too much. Sam Fackman with a rebound.
Needed to use the glass, didn't do it.
Mensing, 2-on-2, tries to shift, and she's going to get called for the charge. Good, great defense there by Hayes.
Yeah, give Hayes a lot of credit. She's given up a lot of size, certainly a lot of height, and she stood her ground and made Mensing come to her, and she gets the offensive foul.
Pivick took a breather there for not too long. As Walsh takes a seat, here comes Michaela Pivick, averaging 21 plus a game. Steve Willits, she's just a monster. Triple doubles, double doubles, doesn't matter. Fakes.
Often doesn't play the fourth quarter when they're up big.
It's true. Monty Cooper back in the ball game. And over to our left, you probably saw it. Brian Hill, again, head coach in his 8th season. Both coaches in their 8th season here for Glacier Peak. He wanted 3 seconds in the lane. But that's going to go against Garner her first. 3 team fouls apiece. Pivick inbounding. And Rogers takes Watkins with a great first step right to the rack.
Yeah, those two together play so well down low, both not only in terms of what they can do with the basket in their hands, but what they can do without it and working the ball around to one another.
Rogers only 5 points as the shot goes up in their last meeting. Garner with a heck of a rebound in the end, 1.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Rasmussen had a good look at that three, but once it came off the rim, Garner, great anticipation. She flew in there, knew right where that ball was going, grabbed it, and went up strong, and might make a three-pointer of her own here.
Pivick with the foul, her first. Garner too much. Cooper with the rebound. 16-14, Glacier Peak on top by 2. 37 seconds in this first quarter. Glad you're with us. Pivick now wants one-on-one, stops and drops, too short. Garner with the rebound. Here comes Rasmussen, 28 seconds. Plenty of time. Danny Hayes on her. Over to Paisley Johnson. PJ Johnson already hit it. A 3 ball earlier in the quarter. 2 on the shot clock, 11 on the shot clock. Garner, 8 seconds. Got to get the ball up. Paisley tries to drive. Can't get it. Pivick with a big rebound. And is not going to make it. And that is the end of the first quarter here in the District 1 Northwest, Wesco. And we're simulcasting on STSPN and SLSN Sound Live Sports Network. Back with the second quarter after this.
Shoreline Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
And a pack. Now she has trouble. needs help. Rasmussen gets her, but she gets called for the 5-second call turnover. Looks to her coach, Brian Hill. He doesn't have an answer.
That's the stop that Lynwood needed. They're down by 2 right now and not wanting to get too far behind on Glacier Peak and maybe even take the lead or tie it right here.
Jordan Edwards gets it, hands it off deep, can't get it. Hayes, but a great rebound. Cooper back up. No, Pivek's there again, can't get it. Watkins loses the handle, and now it's a loose ball, and Fatkins come up with Glacier Peak now on the run. Rebounds critical against Lynwood. They do such a great job, Steve, on the offensive and defensive boards.
Well, you just see them fighting for it and getting second, third, fourth opportunities.
Gardner can't get that one. Tip ball, now it's a tip drill, and Natalie Rasmussen comes up with it. 26 seconds left on the shot clock. Watkins driving, turns left, spins into Pivek, and they're going to draw the foul. Kayla Watkins, the sophomore.
Yeah, a little surprise there as Pivek came running over a little bit out of control and just ran right into the path of where Watkins was going. Easy call for the referees on that one.
Kayla will go to the line. Very good free throw shooter. Great. Hey, that's great. Exactly what you want. Weak side help defense. She misses the first.
You just don't want
to there late.
Put your shoulder down and hit the player when they're doing it. And I don't think she was anticipating the spin move. So give Watkins a lot of credit for going right into a place where I don't think Pivek thought she was going to be.
Kayla Watkins misses the second. I obviously jinxed her because I said she was a decent free throw shooter. Jordan Edwards coming along. Now in that last game, again, their only loss, that was one of the keys, was Edwards only got her first points late. And there you see Edwards driving, great drive, can't get it to go. And Cooper literally takes it away from Fatkins, dumps it to Rogers and in.
I'm not sure that was a pass or if that was Rasmussen that batted the ball away. Either way, it ends up in Rogers' hands and she gets the basket.
4 for Kelsey Roger, another super soft. Mensing too much. And Walsh with the rebound, looks for trailing Royals. Finds Rogers, another right-hander beauty right off the square, and Brian Hill is going to have to get a timeout.
Beautiful pass by Walsh.
2-point lead for the Royals, 6 minutes, 16 left to go in this first half. STSPN, SLSN. And the crowd chanting Edwards.
Is that what they were chanting?
Is that what they? I don't know. Either for the coach, for.
I wasn't sure if it was Edwards or Lynwood or these headphones. They kind of muffle things for us a bit. These darn headphones, right? This is a fun game, though. I mean, both student bodies over there, right next to each other, and so far it seems to be pretty school-spirited, so to speak. No animosity, and just a lot of fun and a lot of energy.
Big game, big stage. Johnson, Garner fakes it. Now she drives, dishes it underneath. Rasmussen can't hold on. That's Charlie Sevenance in the ballgame. 21 in the blue for Glacier Peak. Edwards the other way. They're on top by 2. Cooper takes Sevenance to the rack. Gets it in. A beautiful left-hand and running a left-hander. Monty Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper, just an all-around solid player. She does a little bit of everything, and we're really seeing her bring the intensity here tonight.
4-point lead for Lynwood. 5:42 in the second quarter. Paisley Johnson at the helm. Sam Fatkin covered by Walsh. One-handed pass. Rasmussen's open. 3-ball, can't get it. Big try there for Paisley, but Lynwood comes down. Walsh stops. Cannot get it. Good rebound by Garner, and here comes Glacier Peak. Paisley, 1-on-4, takes it. Too much, looking for the foul. She's scrapping there with the rebound is Sevenance. And they call a travel, I think, on Walsh. Is that correct?
It looked like they did call a travel. Nice job by Rogers to get her hand on that ball, by the way. That's not an easy play to make when you've got the offensive player with momentum going towards the basket, and Kelsey just timed it perfectly and got her hand on the ball and almost created a turnover.
And there's a big-time shot.
Fat can hit. Everybody on this Glacier Peak team can hit threes, and Sam, I believe, with their first one of the night.
Sam Fatkin, another sophomore again. I've had the pleasure of watching Sam Fatkin, Kayla Watkins, Paisley Johnson since they were about third grade or fourth graders, really, playing basketball. And it's amazing to see how well they've come along. Cooper, good defense there, out of bounds. They say she didn't touch the line, and last touch, I think it's Glacier Peak, and great hustle there by Lynwood.
Oh, Danny Hayes almost diving into the bleachers there. They're padded, but you can rest assured that still hurts where there's that wood on the ground, and that's what Danny ended up running her foot into, and I'm glad she wasn't hurt, and great hustle on her behalf.
Here comes Danny Hayes, the senior. Again, Edwards only a junior, Pivick only a junior. So Lynwood, and there's Edwards, quick move, can't get it to go. Paisley with the rebound. 4:20 left here in this first half. 1 point lead by the Royals. Great matchup, Paisley and Jordan Edwards. Tough shot.
I wasn't sure I liked the selection at first, but Paisley just working her way into the lane there and floats one up from 8 feet out with Edwards' hand in her face. Great job by Johnson.
Her floating to her right or left, I couldn't tell. Back the other way, a seesaw battle here. Inside, Rogers spins. Now she looks for the outlet, but Paisley Johnson for Glacier Peak's there, and now Danny Hayes is going to get called as she tries to reach in there.
You know, in the stat book, you're going to get Johnson for the steal on that play, but really it was created by Rasmussen. Came over, set up the double team, forced Rogers into a bad pass right into Paisley Johnson's hands, and that's what you need on a team like Lynwood. You need to come over, you need to assist with the defense from the weak side and force them into turnovers.
First on Hayes, but 6 on Lynwood here with 3:41 left in the second quarter, so see if they get to the bonus. Glacier Peak, Sadie Mensing and Rasmussen trying to take, and Rasmussen goes in, and they're going to say it stays Glacier Peak basketball with 16 left on the shot clock. Some substitutions for Lynwood now. Pivick in, Boston in.
Really like the way Hayes is playing defense. She did a nice job in the semifinals of neutralizing Moni Jackson, and she's doing similar things here to whoever she's been guarding. She's been switching off and on.
Sam Fatkin there with a little spin jumper. Nothing. Now she's still on the floor. Hayes back up. Edwards. Hayes, three-pointer, lefty. Got it. Danny Hayes, her first points of today.
Gave her a nice compliment on the defensive side, and she comes back and strokes the three on the offense.
Sam Fatkin on Boston now, tries to get it over. Sadie in the far corner. Rogers comes out, she drives. Almost gets the bucket, but she'll go to the line. Sadie Mensing. Looks like they're trying to attack the paint.
Yeah, and it's a good move as long as you can draw the fouls. Obviously, Rogers has got some height on you, but in that case, she flies in there and sends herself to the free throw line.
First on Kelsey Rogers, that's a 7th-team foul, and there's a timeout on the floor. We will step away. You're watching Snohomish Times Sports Network and the Sound Live. Just 2 minutes, 53 seconds left to go in a hot gym, a hot high school Saturday night here. The 3A Northwest District 1 Girls District Championship game here. Glacier Peak and Lynwood Royals. Sadie Mensing at the line. Hits the very first one of that. 23-22, Lynwood up by 1. Mensing, the senior, that's her first points tonight. She is now 2 for 4 from the free throw line tonight. Tied up at 23, 2:48 left. Danny Hayes with the ball. Steve Willits going to go and get our halftime interview here for the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show. Pivick working on Mensing. Draws, pushes in, and then a fadeaway. She's so strong. Just, there's nobody like her in Wesco, I can say for sure, not about the state. I look over to my right, and David Kruger, the famed sports writer for Herald Net. Everett Herald even just shakes his head. Pivick hits that. Second team foul on Sadie Mensing. 9 points now for Michaela Pivick. So many impressive, what a stat stuffer she is. She does everything. Misses the second, but a rebound by Boston. Goes back into Cooper. Cooper tries to chase it. She gets there. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Great interior pass to Edwards. Edwards up, can't get it. Rebound, Glacier Peak. Rasmussen on the far side. Brings it into the center court. Sam Facton with the ball. Gets a screen from Rasmussen. Takes it up, dumps it to Watkins. Watkins goes strong. Gets a block behind by Cooper. Goes up again and nails it. Kayla Watkins. We need more Watkins if you're a Glacier Peak fan. 4 for the sophomore, Kayla. Pivick, high post. There they go. Edwards goes life. Tough shot, leaning. Oh, baby. Edwards, her first 2 tonight. She's been dishing the rock, though. Fatkins here, 26-25. Lynwood on top by 1. 1:41 left in the game. Paisley having a rough time, and now she's going to get bailed out by a call. Everett Edwards not happy with that. And that's going to send them to the line. It's Boston's second tonight. Their team 8 fouls, so it'll send Paisley Johnson to the line. Paisley Johnson, 5'9" sophomore, had 9 points on the big win, and she hits the front end. And always a key, she had foul trouble that night. She hit a big 3 earlier. It's Paisley. PJ Johnson nails the second one. And now seesaw battle here. Glacier Peak with a 1-point lead. Here comes Jordan Edwards. Gets in the front court. Now Pivick one-on-one. They got Garner on her. Fatkin back for help. Now back over to Danny Hayes. 17 on the shot clock. Paisley. Now they open the court for it. Gets it over to Pivick. Pivick has trouble. Gets it back. Boston. Boston almost gets it taken away. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Now it's a turnover, and Paisley comes in. Now Paisley gets helped up by Pivick, and she'll draw the foul. She'll go back to the stripe. She's like a rugby player. Nobody likes to be on the ground more than Paisley Johnson. The verbal commit sophomore to BYU, Paisley. And that's number 3 on Michaela Pivick. And that's an issue if you're a Lynwood Royal fan. Joining me now is, again, the man, the myth, the legend, David Kruger from the Everett Herald. David, how are you?
You guys are far too nice.
Yeah,
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Paisley John. I'm doing great. Are you kidding me? I got the best seat in the house, and I weaseled my way in.
There you go. Man, this has been phenomenal basketball here today at Jackson with the Edmonds Woodway and an Arlington game at first, and then the Arlington and MP boys, and now this one's shaping up to be a classic too here really quickly.
Paisley, deadly from the stripe so far. 29-26, 3-point lead here for Glacier Peak. David Kruger from the Everett Herald. On with us, Danny Hayes gets it. Edwards now. Deep, 3, can't get it. And Hayes tries to hustle. Can't get there. It's going to be Glacier Peak basketball. David, these gals are working their hearts out.
Man, there's no question. These two teams are both just phenomenal teams. Both ranked in the top 4 in the AP poll. Played 2 games this year already. Lynwood got the first one by about 20, I think, remember right, 23. Glacier Peak got the second one pretty handily too. So kind of the grudge match, kind of to see who gets the number 1 seed, that district championship, and who gets that season win. 44 seconds in the first half, 16 on the shot clock. Fatkins pops it out. Dribble drive. Rasmussen tries to go inside. It's kicked out. Garner. 7 on the shot clock. A little jumper. Can't get the lean. Rebound Edwards. And Paisley drives for it. Over to Walsh. 24 seconds left in the second quarter. Shot clock off. Rogers turnaround. Too much. Right into Paisley's hands. Here come the Grizzlies. 15 seconds into the front court. Walsh on her. No shot clock. 9 seconds. Brian Hill, the head coach for Glacier Peak, screaming instructions. Kayla now.
1 second left. Deep three off the back, no good. And it's a seesaw battle, but at the half, Glacier Peak on top 29-26. We will collect our thoughts, David Kruger, and be back as he's tweeting on the Twitter sphere. As you can check his blog, Twitter sphere, anything. He's a celebrity, baby. Right back, STSPN and Sound Live.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
The Action Jackson halftime. Let's throw it to Steve Willits.
The Glacier Fleet. Whoa, we're getting loud now. The players aren't the only one bringing the noise right now. The student section is all fired up. Who do you guys think is going to win this game? We couldn't hear you. Who's going to win this game? I think I might have to sneak down here real quick. Let's go ask Lynwood real quick what they think. Hey guys, look into the camera, STSPN. Yeah! Who wins this game tonight? We definitely do not have a consensus. One side says one thing, one side says the other. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we got a special interview for you. You're watching the Action at Jackson Plumbing halftime show right here on STSPN.com and the Sound.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back once again to the Action at Jackson Plumbing halftime show. The Glacier Peak Grizzly ladies are ahead of the Lynwood Royals 29-26 at the half. Got Brian Hunter with me. Brian is the head coach for the boys team. And Brian, first of all, what do you think of the way the ladies have performed in the first half?
Oh, it's great. It's fun watching them play. Brian's got them playing so well. They're really confident. It's awesome to see them do it right now. They're doing a great job.
Liking the fact that your student body's pretty large right now. I've got to think they stick around for the second game and even more trickle in. How much fun is this to be in a district championship game?
Oh, it's fun. You can't buy it. I mean, I tell the kids that, you can't buy your high school experience. Something like tonight, district championship, back-to-back games for our school. There's nothing better. I mean, it's a really cool night.
Now, you've already won 2 district championships at Glacier Peak. Anything more special about this one, knowing it's your former employer in Stanwood?
No, I mean, they're all different. They're all individual. I think about it more from our kids right now that are on our team. For them to be in this game and have a chance to compete for a district title, I mean, it's an unbelievable thing. Our guys are pumped up, ready to go. It's just such a neat thing. I don't think about the Stanwood side of it. Zach is a great friend. I'm really proud of him. Stanwood's got a great tradition.
It doesn't matter. Both teams of ours
come back and they'll say, hey, we won that district title. And you can't, I mean, that is something that they will always have and they'll always know. So, it'll be a battle tonight. It'd be awesome to come out on top. We'll see what happens. Zach will have his guys ready to roll.
And what can we expect to see from both teams tonight?
Stanwood will probably do what they've been doing all year, which is sharing the ball. They'll half-court trap us. They'll run their matchup zone. They've got so many good players that you can't really key on one guy, but my guess is Chaplick will have a lot to say about what happens tonight. And for us, we'll do what we've been doing. hopefully play good defense, share the ball, take good shots, see what happens.
So we will see what happens. It's going to be a great game. 8 o'clock tonight, right here on STSPN.com. It's the Glacier Peak Grizzlies versus the Stanwood Spartans. Brian Hunter, thank you very much and good luck to you. Thank you. All right, and we will throw it back to you. Once again, our halftime score, Glacier Peak leading Lynwood 29-26. You do not want to go anywhere. We've got 16 more minutes of action coming up right here on STSPN. You're watching the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show.
Steve Willits, the interviewer. That's my new nickname for Steve Willits. There's nobody around who can interview like Steve Willits. Not only, he's like the mayor too. It's the mayor interviewing everybody because he knows everybody. And he doesn't just know them, Todd Elvig. He knows them. He's hanging out with them. He's a player, let me tell you, Steve Willits. So yes, halftime here, 26-29. At the end of one quarter, it was GP with a 2-point lead, 16-14. And the biggest key really going into this second half is Michaela Pivic did just phenom. I mean, just crazy, just ridiculous. One of the best players in the state, if not the West Coast, has 3 personal fouls right now. She's got 9 points for Lynwood. As we get Steve Willits back in here, but you know, scoring totals right now, Paisley Johnson, unofficially I have her with 6, spreading it around quite a while. As we had, we're trying to get Steve some headsets back. But so they early on, it was a tight match. Then midway through, Lynwood really started to open up and they want to run and gun. They want fast break basketball. And it got a little out of control if you're a Glacier Peak fan. And they kind of reined it in. And the big deal was those fouls, team fouls getting to 7. And Paisley Johnson was excellent, and that's what gave them the lead as we are right now, 29-26. Steve Willits back on the headsets. I was telling you the key thing I'm looking for going to the second half, Michaela Pivic, the just absolute craziest player in the state right now, maybe the West Coast, I don't know. She's just unbelievable with the things she does with the basketball. She's got 3 fouls going into the second half.
3 fouls, and they're down by 3, and not the way they would have drawn that up at the beginning of the game. And yes, she certainly has to watch out for that.
Big shout out real quick here. Lisa Zanol's Zanol, excuse me, Lisa. Again, she's just always at Glacier Peak. Does everything. She's there longer before everybody and after everybody. Big shout out in Wenatchee Hospital to her dad, Tim, right now from a ski accident. My goodness, I'm surprised there's enough snow to get in a ski accident. But we want to send out a big wishes, well wishes to Lisa's dad, Tim.
Is that Wenatchee, Washington, by the way? I'm looking on your sheet of paper.
Yeah, right. Is it Wenatchee or is
it's
it?
Phonetic, I guess. It's W-I-N-A-C-H-I.
If it was Massachusetts, I could understand. They have more snow than anybody.
Give me Todd a hard time about the spelling there.
Yeah, listen, don't look at the spelling there, okay? Just go with what I was trying to tell you.
Well, we love it.
No, certainly we give him a huge shout out. So Tim, get well, get back here, and one of these days get back to another Grizzly game. You might be watching a future district champion team.
I was talking to you about the great interview here on the Action Jackson halftime show here as the District 1 Girls 3A Championship, Steve. Now, I mean, you hang out with all these people outside of the gym.
Not
you know,
the kids.
Oh, no, but you know the coaches. You know, I like to tell you, right? And you just talked to Brian Hunter, of course. He's got to play Stanwood again. He was there for 10 years before he came to Glacier Peak. Now tell me the real, let's get the scoop. These guys got to be sick of playing each other.
Although, I'm doing this off the top of my head, Stanwood and Glacier Peak didn't play each other this year.
I know, but they played last year.
Right.
Come on.
Different teams every year. I mean, certainly, from Stanwood's standpoint, graduating quite a few of their seniors from last year's team, it's, you look at the game that we had before this one, Stanwood and Arlington, I mean, they've played each other, 3 times in the last 5 weeks.
That's what I mean, right.
So yeah, it is kind of nice, and in some ways it's a good thing. It depends on who you talk to. Some of these coaches like the familiarity. They like to be able to know that they've already prepared for the team they're playing because they've seen them enough. And I think, quite frankly, when you're on a big stage like this in a district championship game, I think it takes the nerves off a little bit of some of these young players. Remember that we're broadcasting games that are being played by 15, 16, 17-year-olds in some cases, and this can be nerve-wracking. And the fact that you already have some familiarity with the teams you're playing makes it a little bit easier. But again, in the case of Glacier Peak and Stanwood, 2 teams that didn't see each other in the regular season, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
It's always fun. High school basketball has been tremendous. Don't go away. Coming after this game is the boys 3A District 1 championship versus Glacier Peak, as we just talked about, and Stanwood. Again, all these coaches, you talked to Nealy and Sood, by the way, I really enjoyed that broadcast. They all know each other. They all have tremendous respect for each other. It's just a good little community up here in Snohomish County in North King.
Yeah, well, and absolutely. And you know, it's one of those situations where once these teams get out of districts, they're pulling for each other at regionals. They know each other. It's not just in Westco action either. I mean, they play spring leagues and summer leagues. And in this day and age, there's so many games outside of just high school sanctioned games. I mean, you really get to know each player's games and their tendencies and everything else.
All you have to do is look at Twitter. You know, when we post player of the game, you'll see players from Glacier Peak congratulating Lynwood players. You'll see Lynwood congratulating Snohomish. You know, so they're friends off the court.
As we head in here the second half, keep in mind the one consistent metric that you have to look at. In Glacier Peak and Lynwood, when Glacier Peak beat them, that score was 61-49, kept him under 50, Lynwood. As Edwards now goes right to work on Paisley. Cannot get the roll, tips it out, but it's a rebound by Mensing. Their only loss earlier by Todd Beamer, 55-43. If you keep Lynwood under 50 or in that 50, low 50s, sometimes good things happen. Great interior, a double D with a dish.
And to kind of take that matter even further, the two Lynwood losses this year, they struggled mightily in the second half shooting-wise. Against Glacier Peak, 4 for 22. Against Todd Beamer, they went a stretch in the third quarter where they missed 19 shots in a row.
Cooper right around Garner. And Monty Cooper with 6. Says 31-28, 7:06, just the start of the second half. Scott Ahsman, Steve Willits on STSPN and SLSN. Watkins get down and she goes after Roger, looks at the ref for the call, not going to get it. Here comes Edwards and the Royals. Letting him go a little bit. Rogers in deep, double team. Now she's on the ground, loose ball. And Everett Edwards right in the ear of the stripes. He calls it TO, baby.
Changed it to a 30-second, and I'll tell you what, I know Everett wanted a foul on that play, but I think that was just great defense by Watkins. Snuck her hand right underneath Rogers' arm and just batted the ball away.
Both teams scrappy.
Both teams scrappy, scrappy, and there's a lot of energy. And hey, how about this gym? I got to tell you, just walking over there and being in that student section, those youngsters are kind of loud. I hate to sound like an old man, but
that was awesome, by the way.
That was fun. That was a great time. Those kids are having a good time over there. I wish I was joining them right now.
Yeah,
I might just go back over there.
I wish they would turn on the ventilation a little bit.
Yeah, the big, you got a big engine, Todd Elvig. The 5-tool player's got a big furnace going right now.
I do like the fact that the GP fan base brought a lot of those player masks, whatever you want to call them.
Player heads, I love that.
Player heads, and they're not only using them to hold up to represent the players, they've started using them as fans over there. You can see it right now on both sides, really. I see a Jordan Edwards one in the Lynwood section, too. So, they're dual purpose tonight.
Edwards takes it, 18 on the shot clock, just started the second half. Great inbound play. That's exactly how Everett drew it up. Big rebound by Cooper, goes back and draws the foul. And you can see in the bottom of your screen, Everett Edwards, such a great guy, jumping up and down. The out-of-bounds play, it should be executed every single time.
He knew he made the right call. He had the play he wanted. He just missed the basket.
Foul is going to go on Garner, her second, as Cooper hits that.
ABC, Scott, always be closing, right? They need to close on that play.
Closing. No cowbell needed. As Keith Nealy is in the house. Cooper hits both of those, and now it's 31-31, Glacier Peak on top.
31-30.
31-30, check that, my bad. Paisley Johnson over on the side. Long range sniper bomb by Garner. Not gonna do it. Great hustle, tries to get it off, and they get the ball back. Gritty.
That was all Gardner right there, just hustling over and batting the ball back into play.
Kayla Watkins hustling over there. Paisley lofts it over to Garner inside. Now she's getting the business from Edwards, and she draws the TO, the turnover, and it'll be Lynwood basketball, and her dad's happy.
That's Jordan Edwards doing what Jordan Edwards does best, playing defense. Just all over Gardner, forcing her into that travel.
1 point lead for Glacier Peak. 6:05 here in the third quarter. Scott Ahsman, Steve Willits, our executive producer, Todd Elvig. What a screen. And Paisley Johnson just looks over and smiles a little bit.
Yeah, I think Paisley was trying to run through Kelsey Rogers rather than go around her. I think she was kind of hoping that maybe the refs would call it on Kelsey, but that's not the case.
First, though, on Johnson. Again, fouls could be a factor. Now Rogers comes out, sets it on Fatkin. Back over to Boston in the ball game. Tipped in the interior pass, and we'll see who they're going to call. It's going to stay Lynwood basketball with 18 on the shot clock. So many cutoff lanes and hands, and everything's going.
Well, you've got 10 players on the court at all times who are just skilled, great basketball players. You don't always see that. Sometimes you see weaknesses, and these teams don't have very many.
On cue, Sadie Mensing with a nifty little save. Here's Johnson. Can't get the roll. Ball bounces into Cooper. Cooper gets her pocket pick from behind, but it'll stay Royals' ball. Cooper finds Roger inside, and Rogers, as she had her mitts on it, Kayla Watkins reaches around and gets a foul.
Fouls on number 12, Kayla Watkins.
Kayla, her first foul. Third team foul, though, here in the early minutes of the third as Boston takes a seat for the Lynwood Royals.
As aggressive as this game has been, the fact that Watkins, who's your main post player down low, has only picked up her first foul in the third quarter, it's impressive.
Cooper drives hard to the rack, and that's an offensive foul as Garner hit the deck.
That one could have easily gone either way.
True.
No matter what the referee was going to call, one side was not going to be happy. Just when in doubt, you give her the charge.
Cooper, that's her second. Again, first team foul for Lynwood late in the first half. Lynwood got the bonus, and that led to some Paisley Johnson free throws as they took the lead. Speaking of Paisley, goes inside to Mensing. Wrap around under the basket, no good. Gets her own rebound off the hands of Edwards. Resets the shot clock. Now it's bounced out, and it'll stay Glacier Peak basketball.
Gotta love the hustle from Mensing right there. Missed the shot, missed it badly, and I think she probably knew that as soon as it left her hands. So what does a good player do? They immediately anticipate where their own shot's gonna go, and that's what Mensing did. Got her own board.
Fatkins on top, the sophomore. Dishes to her fellow sophomore Watkins inside. Mensing, no call there for the possession arrow. Cooper on her horse. Stops. And no basket traveling as Paisley Johnson flew by. And the crowd doesn't like it, Steve.
Great defense on both ends. First of all, Monty Cooper is so strong. Just ripped that ball away from, I guess it was Johnson on the play. And you said on the other end here, Glacier Peak hustling back and forcing Cooper into a travel.
31-30. 9 left in the third quarter. Walsh going to take a seat. Danny Hayes in. Natalie Rasmussen in for Glacier Peak. Sam Fatkin with the basketball. One difference from the last game to this is Lynwood was full court press, major press all the way through, Steve. They're not doing that as much so far. There's the great hands defense by Jordan Edwards. There's Cooper there to pick it up.
I think that's a credit to the Glacier Peak offense too, Scott. I think part of the reason why Lynwood doesn't go to a full court press, Glacier Peak's able to handle it. A lot of other teams that we see around Wesco and around the state for that matter can't, and that's a tribute to the fact that Glacier Peak is just so good at ball handling.
They are, and it was a definite, they slowed that game down in the GP win and made it very methodical, slow, half-court sets, and it boded well. That foul on Samantha Fatkin, now 14 fouls on the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Danny Hayes out to Pivick. Pivick with 9 in the first half. Hasn't gotten a shot off. She's going to try right now, and they're going to call the foul. They're going to say it's on the court, and Lynwood Royals fans are not pleased with that decision.
One of these days we're going to watch a game, well, okay, I'm being sarcastic here, where both crowds are just completely happy and 100% satisfied with refereeing, right?
Boston with a tough turnaround, can't get it. Third on Sadie Mensing here with 4:11 left. Down the court, Watkins, double team, now looking for an outlet. Sam Fatkins drives, double team, not going to get the foul, and she's on the hard court now. She's got to hustle. Walsh the other way. Cross court, too much to Danny Hayes, can't handle it. Now it's Fatkins, finds Paisley. Paisley layup, no good, too much. Watkins there, goes up, no good there. Rebound, Pivick. And Paisley's on the deck.
Getting up slowly. You know, it's a shame because Sam Fatkin really deserves an assist on that play. Even if they didn't get a basket, she threw a perfect pass to Paisley Johnson. Didn't lead her too much, didn't force her to slow down by throwing it behind her, just threw it perfectly in front of her. Paisley's got to convert that into a basket, but give Fatkin a lot of credit. She could not have put that ball any more on the money.
It's tough. They always say, you know, the gimme, the layup, when you know a Lynwood Royal is right on your back, the concentration gets a little sketchy there. Lynwood ball, 1 point lead by Glacier Peak. They were up by 3 at half. Pivot, and now they're going to call a foul. And I think these officials might be wanting to rein it in. Two very physical, aggressive teams.
Yeah, and give Pivot a lot of credit there. She pivoted that leg and right into the lane where Fatkin was running. Pivot has that right away, and Fatkin ran into her.
And with 3:35 in the third quarter, Steve Willits, Glacier Peak already hitting bonus time. Pivot.
Doesn't bode well either because Lynwood's a pretty good free throw shooting team, especially this lady here at the free throw line.
70%. And I didn't jinx her. Pivot. If you haven't had a chance to watch Michaela Pivot, there's this throw and it's out of bounds, a turnover for GP, and now Lynwood right back here as they take a 32-31 lead with 3:33 left. Timeout on the floor by the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Brian Hill will be right back. STSPN and SL. Fred's Rivertown Ale House was just there last night. Let me tell you, I know you think we only eat one thing there, but Asian nachos again. I'm just going to tell you, the fan favorite at the table I was at. Fred's Rivertown Ale House, downtown Snohomish. Walsh, Pivot, high post. Jordan, Edwards.
Does Fred's deliver?
You know they should.
Oh, I'd be all over that right now.
They don't. We got to talk to Chewy about that, Todd. Pivot. Their offense now, set offense. They screen and run around, wrap around into the key. Boston slices, dices, gets into traffic, and they call her for the travel. Opposing back and forth, or excuse me, back-to-back turnovers now, GP and Lynwood. Low-scoring game, 32-31. Lynwood averaging almost 65 points a game. As that one's knocked out, it'll stay GP ball. 2:55 left to go in the third. Paisley gets it to Garner. Garner now gets it off to Fatkin. Sammy Fatkin. Rasmussen three. Can't get it. Pivot goes up and almost knocks Cooper to the ground with a rebound. Pivot. Jeez. You can't stop me, baby. But she can stop as Cooper can't get the putback, and now Paisley with a little forearm shiver there in the far court.
You were right. They couldn't stop Pivot. The only one that could stop her was herself.
And Sadie slices, dices in, Kaiser drive right off the glass, and I tell you, tough baskets. And Cooper sliding. Mensing goes in, she's blocked, and they get the foul, and it's just helter-skelter in a hot gym on a Saturday night.
A lot of scrambling around for that ball, and Rasmussen able to come up with it and dished it nicely to Mensing. You're right, that was a wild play, and it advantaged Glacier Peak at the end.
Oh, hanging on. Sadie hits it.
If only we could somehow get a good basketball game out of this tournament today, right? We had an overtime game already tonight. We had the second game that was tied up with about a minute to go, and now this one's tied with 2 to go in the third.
Can't get that one. Tied up 32-32. Michaela Pivot sees a great no-look pass down to Cooper Lowe. She draws the foul. I guess she's got eyes all over all sides of her head right there. Beautiful.
And Cooper, hands all over the side of her head. She gets the foul and is going to go to the line for 2 free throws.
8 team fouls now for Glacier Peak. Kiana Garner, her third. And I tell you, Glacier Peak, and Cooper hits that, is not a deep basketball team.
No, they're really not, and especially tonight, it's, I want to say, what, a 7-8 player rotation for the most part? And
especially at this level, again, they have some great kids there. They're not as deep. They run hard. Cooper tries to get the second front rim, no good. And Rasmussen there for the rebound, 33-32. Lynwood now on top by 1.
And I don't have it in front of me. Anybody with 4 fouls yet?
Not yet. Rasmussen can't get it, but Kayla tries the rebound, and now they don't get the jump ball call. And Kayla Watkins, I tell you, you got to have hands like a cat burglar, and there's words down there in the corner.
A lot of scrambling there, and I can see why the fans are a little bit upset with that one. It looked to me from my angle that Lynwood definitely touched it last. I thought it shot off of Watkins' hands. It looked like it touched Cooper. The referee was right there, though, so I'll give him the benefit, but certainly you could have made an argument either way.
29-26 at half. We have not had a lot of points here in this third quarter with 1:31 left. Royals, Jordan Edwards having trouble getting a hold of that ball. Drives in, now gets it out to Pivic. Oh, underneath, can't get the roll again. And when as soon as Fatkin came down, they hammered her on 3 kids, and they get the jump ball in possession.
Well, again, you've got Cooper down there who's just so strong, and then Pivic recognizing that her teammate has the opponent in trouble. She flies over there to help. Great play by Fatkin to get the rebound, but even more so by Cooper and Pivic both to get in there and tie it up.
Pivic takes a seat, I'm sure, for a very short amount of time here with 1:16 left in the third quarter. The 3A District 1 Girls Championship game.
So you think she'll be back?
I think so. Fatkin goes in, a great block by Rogers.
Rogers very wisely just waiting for Fatkin to go up with that shot. Didn't force it, didn't throw her body into her to draw the foul. Just waited until Sam was a little off balance and blocked her shot.
Kelsey Rogers, I'm sure she wants to have a great game, and she is having it. She says, not in my house. Get that out of here.
Kelsey had a great Tacoma Dome trip as a freshman last year. She's looking to get back there.
Good looking floater by Johnson, tries to get the turnover. Here comes Walsh. Nifty move, bounces out. Tough rims here at Jackson for both teams as Cooper comes down limping, and she's having a struggle getting back down the court. Garner, Paisley drives in, double team, tough shot. Now she goes in. I look like a foul, and she is going to get caught. As Monty Cooper heads down to the bench. Looks like she's hurt, Steve.
Yeah, nothing discreet about that. That was pretty clear and easy for the referee to make that call as Paisley just hammered her from behind.
Again, he'll send the Lynwood Royals to the line. Third foul on Paisley Johnson. She's been there many times with 3 fouls, even 4 fouls in a game.
We're not even out of the third quarter yet, and they are 1 foul away from being double bonus the rest of the way.
Jordan Edwards to the line. Danny Hayes comes in for Walsh. Paisley again. You got to remember Paisley, Sam, sophomores. Got some playing time last year, mostly in the districts actually. They lost as Edwards bounces out and her dad's not happy.
You mentioned Paisley and Sam. There's a lot of sophomores on this team. It's not just the 2 of them either.
That's true. Boy, the defense is just relentless by Lynwood Royals. Paisley back around the corner, around the horn. Johnson wants a 3. Not gonna have it, but Garner there with 18 seconds left on the clock. Third quarter, 14. 11 seconds. Paisley dares her. Boston, now she drives. Dishes to Watkins, can't get the gimme. Watkins back up. She draws the foul, she'll go to the stripe. The rebounding is tenacious.
Yeah, way to go for Kayla to stick with that ball and get the rebound, knowing there was very little time left on the clock, and Pivic picks up her 4th foul right before the end of the third quarter. That is huge.
Major, as you hear the crowd kind of unsettled if you're in gold and black here at Henry M. Jackson High School. Kayla hits the first in the white shirts. It's white out at Glacier Peak. You were in the white out. earlier at
wasn't a
halftime.
whiteout. If I would have known better, I would have worn a different shirt. I should have matched.
5 points for Kayla Watkins. Had a huge game in this win that they had at Glacier Peak with 15. She hits the second.
Send a middle-aged guy with a green shirt into a section of teenagers with white shirts and you stand out a little bit.
Turnover, Watkins again, and she was looking, she didn't take it. Oh my goodness, you just can't write it better than this. At the end of 3, Glacier Peak hanging on with a lead 34-33. Don't go anywhere. Snohomish Times, Sports Network, and Sound Live Sports Network.
Community College and Puget Sound Auto Dealers Association have been recognized internationally for its pioneering in finding a new way to deliver technical training for automotive repair.
Steve Willits, Scott Ahsman here back. A packed gym for this absolute dandy here for this championship. Pivick, 4 fouls. Michaela Pivick, the superstar, heading into this 4th quarter. And, you know, Tom Lafferty, KRKO, he was doing the championship boys game. He just mentioned horrific shooting by both sides here in the 3rd quarter. 1 for 9 for Lynwood, 1 for 16 or something like that. I can't remember, but that's good defense too.
If my math is correct, that's 2 for 25. That's 8% between the two teams combined.
Well, that's true. I mean, we had 29-26 at halftime. We ended the 3rd with 33-34.
Just turn off the clock and play to 40. What do you say?
That's right. Danny Hayes scoots in, can't get it. Cooper, though, with another offensive glass. She's looking for help. Danny Hayes there. So every quarter so far, Glacier Peak has been on top. They ended the 1st up 16-14 as Cooper, long 3-corner ball, bounces out. In fact, he doesn't know where the ball is. There's Walsh. She'll take a shot, and she drills it.
Puts Lynwood back ahead with 7:17 to go, and a gorgeous shot by Walsh.
4 for the sophomore Walsh. Paisley gets Rogers to go up, and Paisley rams right by her, and it's a 2.
It doesn't get much better than this. The last game we broadcasted earlier tonight, I think we had 5 lead changes within the first 3 minutes of the 4th quarter. We've already had 2, and we're barely a minute in.
Edwards on the far side gets a pick by Rogers, drives around, a little floater, right-hander, floating one-hander there. I'll get it out eventually. And Everett Edwards wants a timeout, coming to the scorer's table. We'll keep it right here.
It's good family teamwork right there as Jordan Edwards getting in trouble, diving onto the floor. Her dad, Everett Edwards, the head coach, recognizing that she needed a timeout, called it for her really quick, and they are going to keep the ball because of it.
It's a full timeout. We will step away. Do not go anywhere on SLSN and the Snohomish Times.
Gives us a chance again. We have to thank all the great people who helped us put on this broadcast. Wesco Septic Service. Try them out. awescoseptic.com or call 888-488-5588. Tell them that you heard this ad on STSPN.com and you will get $50 off your next service. They offer 24-hour service 7 days a week with over 25 years of experience.
7 days a week, 24 hours a day, did you say?
24 hours a day. You just call them or go online and they'll help you out.
How often do you get midnight septic service?
Not very often. Drew Vader. Or often at our house. We have a septic. We're all about septic at the Ahsman Messina household.
Back here at Jackson High School. A thrilling district championship, 36-35. Glacier Peak on top. Danny Hayes with the ball over to Edwards. Now she gets hit by Paisley Johnson as she skips her way because she knows that's her 4th.
Also number 3, Paisley Johnson, her 4th personal.
Glacier Peak, as they did in the last meeting for these two, just hanging on to get to this game as Edwards there at the line. Lynwood beating Edmonds Woodway 65-51. Jordan can't get that. And Glacier Peak beating Arlington 63-55. Steve Willits, you were here for both of those.
Two phenomenal games, and we've got a third one right here. As I mentioned earlier, one goes into overtime. The other one was very close to going into overtime before a huge 3-ball by Cole Grindy for Marysville Pilchuck. And hey, we might get extra action here still.
Third point for Jordan Edwards tonight. Again, she only averages 9 a game. That's not her job when she doesn't have to. As Fatkin gets it in the front court. 21 seconds on the shot clock. 6:24 left in this ball game. Tied up at 36. Fatkins can't get around the long arms of Jordan Edwards. Now she's got Rasmussen dead to rights, and she converts. Jordan Edwards.
Just when you mentioned that she's had a quiet game, she all of a sudden just rises up from out of nowhere and steals it and then makes the basket as well.
A lot of people thinking that might have been double dribble as Kayla Watkins gets caught there. Now she's running in, and everybody's going, is that double dribble or what?
We're going to get a nice chess match going here right now, too. You've got Michaela Pivic with 4 fouls for Lynwood, Paisley Johnson for Glacier Peak, both on the bench right now.
And we'll see if it's and one. Sadie Mensing. It is counted.
Nicely done. I didn't think he was going to count it at first. He was holding up 2 fingers initially. Finally went through with those fingers and showed that the basket was in fact good, and Mensing with a chance for a huge 3-point play.
It's like good Southern barbecue. He was slow cooking us there, Steve. Sadie Mensing. Too much spin and sauce, can't get that. And Rasmussen tries to tie her up, and it's Glacier Peak basketball with Cooper's toes on the line.
Unbelievable. This game is coming right down to it. One stat we don't keep here, I wish we had now because it's very interesting to note. How many ties have we had in this game? For a game that's 38-38, we've had a ton already.
Rasmussen, it has been an absolute seesaw. Sadie Mensing, mid-range jumper, way too much arc on that. And Cooper hits it off her again. Oh, Monty Cooper cannot buy.
I don't think her hands ever touched the ball. It went over the rim, and it's almost like it went right through Cooper's hands and hit her leg.
5:47 left in the ball game, 38-38. Kiana Garner, 3-ball corner, no good. This time Cooper holds on to the peach. Danny Hayes in the front court. You can just feel the intensity in this hot gym here. High school basketball at its best. Jordan Edwards on fire here early fourth. Rogers inside with a circus act through the arms of Watkins.
Kelsey Rogers just turned around, ducked underneath the 2 defenders, and then laid it up and in. For a sophomore, she's a really special post player.
6 for Kelsey. Sam Fatkin the other way. Rasmussen. Cross court to Garner. Now Mensing down low. Rasmussen 3. Yeah! Oh! My heart!
Rasmussen seems to hit the big 3-pointers when they're needed the most. I've noticed that a few times this year. Ice cold water in her veins right now, putting her team back up with under 5 minutes to go.
6 points, 2 of them behind the arc.
And look who's checking back in for both teams.
Michaela Pivic back in. Paisley Johnson about to come back in. Edwards trying to do a crossover move. Great dish to Cooper, driving through the lane, can't get it. Sadie with the rebound. And Sadie just trying to hold on to the rock as she gets fouled as she's bumped around.
That was a frustration foul on Cooper's behalf. She really should have pulled back. Was going to do everything and anything to get that ball, even if it meant committing a foul, and that's what she did, and she picks up her 3rd.
Great player, Monty Cooper, the senior. 3rd foul for her. 5 team fouls for Lynwood, and double bonus, 10 for Glacier Peak here, 4:25. They got into the single bonus with 3:34 in the 3rd.
Johnson and Pivic both back in with 4 fouls.
Fatkin working on Danny Hayes. Back to Fatkin. 3-ball. Front rim. Edwards flying in for a rebound. Controls the ball. Now over to Walsh. 4:05 left in the game. Walsh driving in. Tough right-hander off the hands of Rogers to Mensing. Now to Fatkin. Rogers spins. Goes up. No call. Are they going to get the call? They are. I was looking at the far official, not under the hoop.
Initially, they didn't blow the whistle. I think when they finally recognized the fact that there was contact, they had to call something, and certainly Edwards was moving. Nice play by Fatkin to try to spin out of the defense and get the shot off.
The Lynwood band especially didn't like that call. Sam Fatkin at the line. Hits it.
Very calm and cool as Fatkin is. She's got that entire Lynwood band yelling at her right now off to our right corner there, behind the basket.
Never safe 2-point lead. Can't hit that with 3:55, 42-40. GP on top. Michaela Pivic with 4 fouls. Right from the free throw line. The sweet-looking jumper. She does it all, doesn't she?
She is. She tends to play at her best when the game's on the line, and that's where it is right now. Easy shot from 14 feet out, nothing but net.
Start with the pressure, now they pull back. PJ Johnson on Danny Hayes, gets across the timeline. 3:30 left to go in the game. Tied up at 42 once again. Sam Fatkin out of Paisley. Paisley playing with 4 fouls, drives, kicks it. Rasmussen outside. Tough D, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Left-hander, tough. Rebound, Paisley goes back up. Rasmussen there to get it back up, no good. No cow underneath the basket. Here come the Royals. Walsh, 2-on-1, takes it herself. Pivic tries to get the rebound, and we'll see what the call is, as Rasmussen got tied up with Michaela underneath.
I couldn't tell who that was, but I don't know how that was not a foul on the other end. Rasmussen got hammered in the nose as she put up a shot. Her head went flying back. She's asking the ref right now, why did I not get that call? I'm not sure why she didn't. It was blatantly obvious to us up here. Should have been a foul.
Nonetheless, Rasmussen get calls for the foul on the other side, and they'll send Michaela Pivic, again, great free throw shooter, over 70% on the year, but she can't buy it. I jinxed her one more time. I got to stop it, right?
And just as we were saying, she's at her best when the game is on the line. She misses one, but if anything, that's the type of thing that motivates Michaela that much more.
3 minutes, 1 second left in this championship game. Michaela can't hit that one. Watkins with the rebound. Don't tell me these girls don't want to be the #1 seed coming out of here, Steve.
Well, one of them is going to put a banner up in their gym, or a plaque, I guess it is nowadays. And both of them want it badly.
Fatkin up top. 16 on the shot clock. Rasmussen, they now play catch around the horn. Drives in. Paisley. Jordan. And she looked like she travels, and she did. Again, brilliant defense by Jordan Edwards. Gave her nowhere to go.
Talk about Michaela Pivic maybe being the best player in this state. Jordan Edwards might be one of, if not the best defensive player in this state. That's just what she does to folks. She either takes the ball away from you or forces you into your own turnover by forcing you to travel.
Jordan Edwards, the junior, saying, Paisley, I love you, but you still got things to learn.
Those are two players that are, Paisley a sophomore, Jordan a junior. They're not done playing each other in their career after tonight. They might play each other in Tacoma in a couple weeks. We'll see, but they're certainly going to be battling for another good year.
A lot of these girls in the off-season play against or with each other in AAU and everything. Oh, an interception, I'd call that, by Kayla Watkins in the right place at the right time. Jumped the route. Here's Rasmussen the other way with 2:13 left to go. Tied up 42-42.
I wonder if that ball didn't just slip right out of Rogers' hand because it went right to Watkins.
16 left on the shot clock for Glacier Peak. They'll get the ball, but they are deep on the far corner there. Inbound to Natalie Rasmussen. Back out to Fatkins. She drives, kicks it to Sadie. Sadie slices, dices, puts it out. Rasmussen another 3. Too much. Crowd wanted it. Great rebound by Jordan Edwards. Skying. Pivic the other way. Jordan Edwards hands the ball to the sheriff and says, my dad wants a timeout, baby.
1:49 to go, tie ball game. Does it get better than this?
Oh man, my blood is just boiling. We'll be back, STSPN SL. Back here, if you are watching on any type of screen right now, I hope you can just feel the intensity, the anxiety, the edge of your seat high school basketball here at Jackson High School in Mill Creek. Scott Ahsman along with Steve Willits. Here we go, 1:49 left to go. Keep in mind, Glacier Peak with 10 team fouls. Pivic on the other side. Gets the screen, rolls out, takes it. Falls away, wants the foul. Rebound, Cooper.
Watkins might have gotten away with a little foul there. She fell all over Rogers.
Oh, and we will see. That's an oh boy. I see both sides there. From my angle, I saw Pivic barely reach out her elbow, but
I'll be honest,
Denver was moving her feet.
I was watching Rogers and Watkins because they both took a tumble to the ground. I didn't see it. I saw shuffling of the feet for Glacier Peak, so certainly if they were calling it on that, it was a bad call, but you might be right. There might have been a little push off by Pivic.
Barely, though. I'm saying barely. I'm gonna go again. You know, the officials have a brutal job, but that was, come on. She's got 4 fouls. We got a minute 42.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think Watkins got away with one, and not her own fault either. She tumbled to the ground and took Rogers out in the process. Probably could have been called on Watkins away from the ball before that.
Absolutely. 1:32. Pivic is fouled out. She retires for the evening. We'll see how that bodes for Lynwood. And Brian Hill wants a timeout. He wants to go for a 30. Oh, man, they're going to want to watch that on demand on the YouTube channel, Snohomish Times, STSPN. And the backcourt official made that call. I'm not sure if there was a difference of what the other official was going to call. Pivic leans out with her elbow. The defender's moving. I think that was Nealy Rasmussen. I'll have to look, but tough call for the Lynwood Royals right now. And with 1:11 left, it's 42-42. You got to understand the breadth, the big impact. Michaela Pivic averages 22, 21 plus a game. There's nobody even close to Michaela as far as a go-to, who do you want the rock at the end of the game.
Yeah, and sometimes this is where teams really show their what they can do as a team. Sometimes when their best player is down, it changes the complexion a little bit for them. They're forced to kind of work more as a team as opposed to, hey, let's try to get it to our superstar player and let her take the winning shot. If you're Glacier Peak now, there's more of a guessing game. You're not really sure where that ball's going each possession.
One key both times last time he's played. Inbound to Nealy. She gets hammered. It's taken away. Ball on the court. Loose ball. And Danny Hayes comes up with it to Rogers. And she's over and back. And the crowd's going crazy.
Danny Hayes, what a play on 2 different times there. She took that ball away, knocked it away from Rasmussen, and then she dove for the loose ball.
I thought if you were on your butt, it's automatic travel.
And you've got to slide on it. I don't think Danny traveled, but she did, in fact, throw it back over the half-court line, and that's a no-no in basketball.
42-42, now 59 seconds left. Paisley on Jordan Edwards. Jordan looking to get that ball. Big, tough pass to Mensing. She gets it. 17 on the shot clock. And Jordan Edwards goes into Nealy Rasmussen, and Jordan will get the call, the foul.
That's huge. That's going to put them at the free throw line with 47 seconds.
Her 3rd personal, but their 8th team foul. 47.9 seconds left to go in this district championship game. Everett Edwards over here, he's working just as hard.
It's a 1-and-1. And
she misses.
And Jordan's got 4 fouls now. They've had her up on the board for 4.
4 fouls,
She needs to play with caution now.
And Rasmussen, usually ice cold from the line, misses that. Edwards hits boom! A 3 with 32.7. Jordan Edwards answers the call. Oh, baby!
Edwards with the bucket, Rogers with the pick. She got Fatkin. Fatkin wasn't even looking at it. They collided hard. Both went down, and Edwards just rolled out to a wide open 3 and drains it.
45-42. Lynwood on top here with 32.7 seconds left to go. And the crowd is getting restless up here. Jordan Edwards, who has been quiet offensively, but a just relentless, tenacious defender all year. None bigger than that 3 ball right there to take the lead with 32.7 to go.
You mentioned she likes the 3s, and she couldn't have picked a better time to hit a huge one.
They hit 30% as a team, Lynwood does, coming in the season from 3. No one takes more than Jordan Edwards, over 70 plus during the regular season.
And hey, when you can hit it like that, why not?
And for Glacier Peak, they've been able to mitigate that 3 ball in their win in the regular season. And tonight, again, we are a low-scoring 45-42. We were only 29-26 at half.
And look at the team that Glacier Peak has out there right now. You've got Johnson, Fatkin, Rasmussen, Gardner, and Mincing. All 5 of these girls can hit threes.
It's a 5-headed monster right here. Paisley Johnson in the front court, 27 seconds. Takes, wall, stops, drops. It's going to be too soft. Rogers with the rebound. And Paisley tries to tie her up, but she's going to get a foul maybe. And she...
That was her 5th if it is on her.
That is. That's her 5th. That is a...
Oh, Mincing gets the call.
Her 4th. So nobody going to walk away cheated by fouls as Kayla Watkins takes the bench. Up by 3 here. Rogers. Rogers at the line, 75% in the season. Didn't like that one. 22.3 seconds left in the district championship. Do not go away after this game. We'll have a player of the game interview. Rogers cannot. No, yes, she can. Big bucket right there. 46-42 now. 20 seconds. Paisley Johnson on Walsh. 3 ball, Paisley. Can't get it. Rebound, Cooper. 13 seconds. Danny Hayes, but she got fouled before she got it off. I don't know that you want to take that quick of a shot, Steve.
No, but you needed points. You're down by 2 possessions. You needed a basket. She had to fire something off, just missed it.
Cooper going to go to the line.
Monty Cooper on the line will shoot 2.
Sorry about that. We had to have a cone of silence for a second as we tried to decide player of the game. Is Monty Cooper, the senior. 9 points so far in this game. Had some tough turnovers there in the 3rd and 4th. She gets the bounce, and the senior could be the absolute dagger with 11.8 seconds to go. Up by 5. She hits it. The Royals on their way. Fatkin, a deep 3, not enough. Time running out. And with a 48-42 lead, the Lynwood Royals with their 2nd consecutive district championship, this time in the 3A. Congratulations to the Lynwood Royals, Everett Edwards, in their game with Michaela Pivick, the leading scorer, with 21 plus. She has a calm night with 13. She fouls out with 132 and a controversial call. And Lynwood hangs on a big 3-pointer by Jordan Edwards as we will wait for Steve Willits to get down, and joining in the fray, the confined broadcast position, our good friend Keith Nealy. How are you, Keith?
Boy, if you haven't had a hankering for some quality basketball in your days, all you had to do was show up into the gym today starting at 2 o'clock and you saw 3 absolute thrillers. Wow.
It's prime time, baby.
It's that time of year where you just have it coursing through your veins, don't you?
The lights are on. It's prime time. Our player of the game, Steve Willits.
It's wild down here, guys. I can't hear you, but you can hear me. Gonna let them celebrate with their fans for just a moment here. 48-42 is the final. Everett Edwards getting into it right now. He's getting the crowd all fired up. Let's see if we can get a player of the game over here right now. Still cheering for their fans.
Everett, a great
guy. Gonna get Jordan Edwards here right now.
Jordan, familiar with the player of the game.
Jordan Edwards, 8 points tonight. None bigger than that 3-pointer late in the game, under a minute to go. Tie game. Walk us through that play.
I don't know. I knew that I wasn't making much shots at the beginning of the game, and I really wanted to step up. And props to my rest of the team. They did good. They stepped up, and I don't know. It just went in, and I'm really happy.
You make them when it counts, right? Hey, your team's been known all year long for defense. You held a great Glacier Peak team to 13 points in the second half. What did you do differently?
I don't know. We adjusted our defense a little bit. We took away good players. we just talked on defense more and we just took good players away.
It's a championship game, so obviously you want to win it. Any more motivation knowing that this team beat you just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it's a lot of motivation. I don't know, yeah.
You can be honest about that. Hey, well, 8 points, but like I said, 3 were huge. You are the player of the game, so I'll have you hold that shirt up there right now. Todd's getting a picture. There we go. Player of the game, but more importantly, district champ. Go celebrate. Thank you. So right now we've got players cutting down the net, each one of them getting a slice of it. Monty Cooper cutting her section down right now. Gonna try to get the coach in here in a minute as well. We've interviewed one Edwards. Let's interview another. Coach Everett Edwards, district champion. This one wasn't easy, was it?
It wasn't easy. We are super proud. Look at our crowd. Look at the fan base for girls high school basketball. You gotta love it. Glacier Peak just played a great game. What a great fight all the way to the end. And I'm just very thankful that we came out on top.
This really is a total team effort, and by team, I do mean the fans too, right? Your players feed off of this.
They do. It's an energy. We've been very blessed. I mean, and I'm very humble when I say this, but this third district championship in a row, and we are just very happy for our Lynwood High School, our Lynwood students, faculty, and our community. Couldn't ask for more.
This never gets old, does it? What's the difference between this championship team maybe as opposed to years past?
You know, it's just every team is its own team. Every year it's its own year, and every year is special. I'll always remember it. This is the most recent one, though, so this makes it very, very special.
And I asked Jordan this question a minute ago. I'm going to ask you as well. Does it make it more special knowing that you beat a team that just beat you a couple weeks ago?
Of course. I mean, we've had a great rivalry with Coach Hill and Glacier Peak, and we're just very fortunate to have great games, great games. And we've had it not only this year, but in years past as well. So we're back to be back at the 3A level. We're very excited. Then the great thing is Glacier Peak season isn't done. We get all go try to fight now to win our regional games, and hopefully we could go down into Tacoma Dome and try to bring back some hardware for our Wesco League.
Excited to find out who you play Sunday night?
Very.
So here we go. So Everett, I'm going to let you go celebrate.
Thank you.
3 straight district champions. Congratulations to you. Back to you guys.
Steve Willits there with the Edwards family call there. That is a final, 48-42. Go do some yoga. Go do relaxed exercise. I don't know what you're going to do. Calm down because we got another unbelievable game coming up shortly. 8 o'clock tip-off, the boys 3A championship. And we'll take a break in between games. For Todd Helvig, Steve Willits, this is Scott Ahsman. Good night. We'll see you here at about 8 o'clock. Don't go anywhere on STSPN and SLSN. Good night.